Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today will be the third installation of my pregnancy series video, so it's going to be my third trimester video obviously. Thank you again for so much of the love that I got on my last two videos. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy my take and my experience with my third trimester. I'm not going to have a very long rambly start, so let's just jump right into the video. With my third trimester, this is where, for me, pregnancy symptoms actually start. If it is you follow me on Instagram normally, you would have seen me post a couple pictures during my pregnancy, and I wasn't actually very big during pregnancy. I had actually only gained 15 or so pounds at the height of my pregnancy, so I wasn't actually very big for the majority of my pregnancy, which I think was a plus, thank God, because coming down to my third trimester, when I was well into my third trimester, when I had actually gotten a lot bigger than I was accustomed to being, that was when the symptoms of that actually happened. And I was kind of shocked because, once again, the whole reason for me doing this series was because I find that not many women actually speak about some of the issues that you do have during pregnancy. We tend to focus on it being a positive, and it is a positive thing. You do get like a great gift at the end of pregnancy, but I do think there are a lot of things that many women don't speak about, that women who are pregnant and haven't heard anybody speak about it would think that they are alone, which could affect you emotionally, as well as I think that women who haven't yet gotten pregnant would like to know what it's actually like, and not just hear about like, oh, it's a blessing and you get this wonderful bundle of joy at the end of it, but the reality of actual pregnancy. So before pregnancy, I was 135 pounds, and in my third trimester, I had gotten to about 115. Some days I'd be 149, 150. So basically, from my pre-pregnancy weight to the height of my pregnancy, I had actually only gained about 15 or so pounds, which is not that much. But the majority of my weight was concentrated in my tummy area. So basically, I had put on weight with the baby and my uterus. And that is where a lot of my symptoms from my third trimester actually stem. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the symptoms that I experienced during my third trimester. I'm just going to kind of list them off. And they kind of have to do with the fact that your uterus is now growing and encroaching on all your other organs in your abdomen. So as a result of that, your organs no longer have space to operate as they normally do. They're not accustomed being this cramped, and now you have symptoms. If you're someone like me who generally has a small frame, that could become very like difficult to deal with. In the sense that it's like a large mass just gradually growing and increasing in size, and that is where you get these symptoms. So I know a lot of people would speak about the excessive peeing during pregnancy, and that is because as your uterus grows, it presses on your bladder, which is like literally right under your uterus. So you end up having to go to the washroom multiple, and when I say multiple, I mean like upwards of 20 times for the day. And sometimes that can be pretty annoying, but that is the symptom that most women complain about, is having to go to the washroom so often. And let me tell you, they're not exaggerating. I think that's one of the most nagging and annoying symptoms during your third trimester, is how often you have to get up to go and pee. And when you're already in your third trimester and you're feeling like a big log, and now you have to bring yourself to get up, go to the washroom again, it can be very frustrating. I hated having to pee that often. I would literally go to the washroom probably like 20 times for the day, and it's not that you have to pass like any exorbitant amount of urine. It is literally like the smallest amount of urine, but it's like your bladder cannot hold anything at all, like literally nothing. And then with the baby being present and the baby moving and being more active, at least for my baby, she used to kick a whole lot, and she would kick excessively in the direction of my bladder for some reason. So that you would literally be 1 minute, you're fine and you don't have to pee. The next minute, you're like, oh my God, if I don't get to the washroom, I'm going to pee myself. Which is kind of ridiculous and kind of embarrassing, because you literally have to just tell them, oops, I need to go to the washroom, oops, I need to go to the washroom. And it's kind of like funny in a sense that you literally spend the majority of your third trimester peeing. Ridiculous, yeah. I had a lot of shortness of breath coming down to the end of my third trimester, especially. I would get excessively short of breath, and I've never actually heard of women speak about that part of the third trimester symptoms. And when I say shortness of breath, I would walk down my normal length corridor and be short of breath. I would walk from one room to the next and be short of breath. I would do any simple task around the home like sweeping and I would be excessively short of breath. I would have to take a break, sit down, catch my breath, and it's because my uterus had gotten bigger than my body was accustomed to dealing with, and my lungs could no longer expand. So my uterus is now growing upwards and pushing against my diaphragm, which now provides less space for my lungs to expand. So my lungs could not take as deep of a breath as they're accustomed to taking, and therefore the compromise was you can't do everything. You're basically like a fat couch potato. You just have to sit down and take it easy, because literally, I remember a time at work, at work normally I do not take the elevator. I normally just walk up the stairs. And I decided, you know what, I want to try the stairs. And I walked up the stairs and I about blacked out. Literally, I started to my vision started to become black, and I had to lean on the wall for a couple of minutes and catch my breath, which probably was not a good idea, especially because I was 8 months pregnant at the time. But I was shocked because I could walk up the flight of stairs really, really easily normally, and while walking up the stairs, I wasn't feeling too bad. But once I got to the top, I was like, nah, I can't believe I can't even make it up a flight of stairs without feeling this bad, to the point where I can't catch my breath, I might black out on the staircase. And I don't think a lot of women talk about the whole shortness of breath aspect, and I for myself was actually shocked that it was that severe. And then stemming from that shortness of breath, because I also was bigger than I was accustomed to dealing with, lying flat was a problem, because again, it's like you just feel very short of breath, and if it is you lie backwards, you again decrease the amount of space that your lungs have, and then you end up with this oh my god, I really can't breathe, I need to sit up. So for the majority of my third trimester, I ended up having to sleep sitting down, which is a pain in the ass, let me tell you, because I am accustomed to sleeping flat on my tummy. I don't sleep with any pillows under my head, I normally sleep flat on my tummy. To now have to go to sleeping on my side to then sleeping sitting down is horrendous. And you already feel excessively tired during pregnancy. It's as if your body, because your body is giving everything to this fetus, you feel excessively drained. It's unreasonable how tired you feel on a daily basis. You can literally do the most minimal things like get out of bed, brush your teeth, eat something, and then you're like, ugh, I need to go back to bed. I feel so tired. I didn't do nothing a whole day and I feel tired. For what? I know I'm gonna feel tired when the child comes. So how can be feeling tired way before the child even reach here? When I'm gonna get rest? I guess never again will I have rest, ever. Which is another symptom that kind of escalated during my third trimester. So with me being so tired, not for no reason, but excessively tired, and then not being able to sleep is a catch-22, because yeah, you're tired, but you can't really get the rest you want because you can't lie down and sleep. You have to sit down and sleep. And if you're not accustomed to sitting and sleeping, or if you're not mastering that sitting and sleeping thing, it can be very, very frustrating. I remember sitting down in bed one night and my husband is next to me and he is snoring, and I'm like, I hate you. You could literally lie down very comfortably and sleep, and here I am sitting down and catching my ass to fall asleep, and I'm so tired and I'm so exhausted, and you are just catching some easy Z's. I wanted to put the pillow over him and be like, it's not fair, but can't really do that. Another symptom that I struggled with was the heartburn. I didn't have the heartburn during the second trimester, but during my third trimester, whoa, heartburn like no other. And the heartburn doesn't feel like normal heartburn that I was accustomed to getting. The heartburn was from the depths of hell heartbeat. Like it would literally rise up your chest, and you feel it every step of the way as it rises up, and then in the back of your throat you feel like the acid there, and it's like nausea inducing. And I didn't know that the heartburn could get that bad. Like I expected the heartburn because that's also another symptom that women tend to speak about, but I didn't expect it to be to the point where I wanted to like throw up because it was so bad. Like the heartburn was like out of 10, I think the heartburn was like a 5, which is pretty high on the pain scale for a heartburn to be. And that meant that I mean, not that I was, but you had to like really avoid dairy and oily foods and spicy things because that would just make it worse. So while I having cravings now, or I want to eat something, I have to like be mindful, which I don't have any patience for during pregnancy. I kind of have to because Satan trying to climb up my esophagus and kill me. So that was another symptom that I was kind of like shocked by. Like I didn't expect it to be that bad. Oh my gosh. With you having to carry around extra weight that you're not accustomed carrying around, and then you having to like lean back to carry that weight, you tend to have a lot of lower back pains, like real bad back pains. Like I pull a muscle in the gym doing some shit back pains, and no amount of like Panadol, no amount of rubbing, no amount of stretching will help that back pain. At least I find. And then I also experienced, along with my back pain, I used to be having some right-sided groin pain. And it would kind of like run from my hip all the way down to my groin, and it would be kind of sharp and nagging. And when I actually spoke with my obstetrician, he had told me that it's something called round ligament pain, and it's most times it's on the right side. And if you've never, like if no one ever spoke to you about it, or you weren't sure what you're experiencing, it would be very, very scary because that pain was not like any of the other pains that I was accustomed to getting during pregnancy. It was like a sharp, strange kind of pain, like almost like if something was wrong or something was happening that wasn't supposed to be happening. And many times it like scared me a lot because I wasn't sure exactly what it was until I obviously finally asked my obstetrician. I mean, I should have probably asked him way before, but maybe in my crazy self, I'm always like, I don't really want to know the bad news. I'm not sure if I should ask. But yeah, definitely ask if you get any random pains during your pregnancy or things that you're not sure about or concerned about. Definitely, please don't delay asking, especially something like pregnancy. But like I said, when I asked him, it was something really easily explained. He said it was my round ligament stretching, and it's completely normal during pregnancy, and it's more common on the right side. And yeah, that pain wasn't fun either. So I had back pain and groin pain, and neither of which was being helped by Panadol because Panadol is crap as far as I'm concerned to help with pain, but that's the only thing I could take. And I can't really ask my husband, hey babe, rub my groin there for me. So it was just a pain that I had to like manage on my own, which was basically me bitching about it for the entire time that I had it. Another symptom that I don't think actually a lot of people speak about, but for me it was a problem because I wanted to eat. So it's something called early satiety, which basically means you feel fuller quicker, and it's because your stomach doesn't have any room to expand because your baby all up in there, right? And I used to want to eat so much, and then I can't stomach it. Like I literally cannot stomach the food because there's no space. So a lot of the times I had to leave back half my fries or leave back half my cake, and I'm like, was the same baby, like I really want to eat, and I can't. I've actually never heard any woman speak about feeling full before you're ready to feel full, and that can be very annoying for somebody who having cravings and just want to eat. Like it's really, really annoying, but it is something to expect, especially if it is you have like a very big belly. Then you're definitely going to experience that fullness before you're ready to have it. And then stemming off of that fullness before you're ready to have it, I actually started back vomiting coming down to like my 8.5 month period in the morning. And it used to irk me to my core because it wasn't that I was feeling nauseous, but like I was feeling so full in my tummy area that I would just throw up. My body, I guess, was like trying to make space. I don't know, but I would end up throwing up, and it used to bother the hell out of me because it wasn't the nausea of first trimester, but I'm vomiting anyway, and that could be very annoying. And again, that's another symptom that I actually never heard anybody speak about, is the vomiting in your third trimester, not because of nausea, but because of that fullness feeling in your tummy. They just have to like make room, or like ensure that you have space by getting rid of the contents of your stomach. I already vomited out my liver string in the first trimester. Why I have to now come and vomit up a kidney in my third trimester? Oh my god, I was so irritated. And one of the last symptoms that I experienced, it's not really a symptom, but it's like a consequence of having that very large tummy, was like difficulty breathing. And when I say difficulty breathing, I mean like it's real difficult to reach your legs over a tummy. So like I used to have to like do this kind of weird thing where I lean up against the wall and put my foot up and like use a loofah and scrub, which can sound very dramatic, I know, but that is something you have to think about when you are pregnant, is simple tasks like sweeping, like I said, or bathing becomes so difficult, and it's like, why do you need to be this like pregnancy in itself is already difficult. Why I have to use a loofah on my foot now to bathe? Like, why I can't just reach my toes if I want to? Why I can't shave my legs when I want to? You know, like those kind of things that I took for granted doing before was so hard after. Like, it was so hard during pregnancy to like just reach my big toe and scrub it. Like, I don't understand why things need to be this difficult, but again, it's something that I didn't think about or even like gave a second thought to. And now in pregnancy, I had to be like, I wonder if I could bring a chair in this bathroom or and just sit down and wash my foot like that, or one like my husband mind bathing me every day. Like things like that is very dramatic and very like over the top, and it's things that I don't think a lot of people think about before going into pregnancy if you've never experienced pregnancy before, and if nobody ever like spoke to you about it. So yeah, those were the major symptoms that I had during my third trimester that I think some of them I think I knew about before, like the peeing, but a lot of them I didn't know about, or like women just don't mention it because I guess it's not a big deal. But the point of my series is for me to give like my raw experience and not like cut out anything and give you guys exactly what was going on, so that you kind of like know, one, and two, if you are experiencing, you're like, okay, it's not only me feeling like this. So like I said, in my second trimester was when I first started feeling the baby movements, and they would feel like a flutter, and you would feel like that feeling you get when you go over a hump really quickly, and it's like a very like emotional, overwhelming experience. And then for me, it's not so much that the novelty wears off, but it's that, why is this child trying to kill me? Is what I felt like. So in my third trimester, with the baby being more coordinated and gaining a lot more weight and therefore becoming stronger, so would the movements. Now, I read in a lot of like pregnancy books and pregnancy blogs, a lot of women say that during your third trimester, because the space is so cramped, babies tend to move less because they're cramped, or they can't move as wildly as they can. But apparently my baby didn't get that memo, so she thought that it was a challenge for her to, oh, you're giving me less space? Let me see how much I can move now. And I would get so many movements. It was unreal. So those were the two things. One, the movements were way over the top, like so many. It was ridiculous. And then the movements were really strong. So let's talk about the first one, the number of movements. So I know a lot of people tell you that, or at least when you go to the doctor, they tell you that if it is your baby hasn't moved 10 times in 24 hours, then it's something to be worried about. You should check into your obstetrician. My baby used to move 10 times in like 5 minutes. Like, she would kick and move, and like nobody would believe me. They're like, you cannot tell me your baby is moving all day, whole day. And I'm like, yes, there is probably only like an hour at a time where I would get no movement. But for the majority of the day, I would be kick. Like, she was playing games with my kidneys and my liver and my stomach. And like some of those kicks really hurt. Like, it shocked me how hard a little tiny baby could kick you, to the point where like I would get a kick, like I felt like I got kicked in my lung, and you literally have to like take a breath because it's like, what the hell just happened? Or you get kicked so hard in your stomach that you literally get the food coming back up and you want to throw up, or you get like a sharp acid coming back up and you're like, what the hell? You get kicked in your blood and you're like, ow, that really hurt, like real bad. And everybody's like, you exaggerating. And I'm like, no, I'm not. This real painful. Like, it's actually very painful to have this tiny little human kicking away at all your organs. And I have never heard of anybody saying that baby kicks hurt. They normally only say it feels like a flutter, or it's nice when you feel the movements. But a lot of the times during my third trimester, my movements were painful AF. Tell me down below or message me if you are pregnant or was pregnant and you've experienced like painful baby movements. Please tell me I'm not alone with my baby trying to kill me during my third trimester. Please, I would like to know if you guys have experienced that at all. So another thing that you start to experience, some people experience it before and then some people experience it in their third trimester, and most first time moms experience it in their third trimester, is the Braxton Hicks contractions. I was really like intrigued to find out how that would feel because most places describe it as a contraction without the pain. And I was kind of like, how can you feel a contraction without pain? But it literally is that, like a contraction without pain. Some of them coming down closer did feel mildly, like not painful, but uncomfortable, I would say. But let me tell you, they're nowhere near actual contractions. I can definitely tell you that, having gone through the real thing now, I can tell you that Braxton Hicks are like a literal walk in the park. So sometimes you do get Braxton Hicks that are uncomfortable, but they are, I can guarantee you, they are nowhere near real contractions at all. Oh my god. Let me see if I can describe how they actually feel. Braxton Hicks are like, they kind of feel like, they really are difficult to explain. So it's like you get like a sensation of your abdomen muscles stiffening, but there is no pain with it. And sometimes you do get a discomfort. So the discomfort for me felt like, the day after you do intense abs at the gym, you get a kind of slight discomfort in your abdomen, but it's not anything unbearable. It's not like difficult to work through. Some of them would feel like that. Majority of them didn't. But they would feel like, it's literally the strangest feeling because it's like your abdomen contracting without your mind telling your muscles to, which is really strange because it's like your muscles having a mind of its own, and your belly would get really, really stiff, and you feel a little like it's like a weird sensation, and then it would just relax and go away on its own. I actually used to get fairly regular Braxton Hicks contractions, like 3-4 times a day I get a Braxton Hicks, and some women say they get that many and some women don't. It just kind of depends. So on a more serious note of my third trimester, because I always have to have some kind of like serious thing with my trimesters, something that for me was a problem was my body image. And having been smaller the majority of my life, having never had a belly, and okay, that might sound real, like conceited and like self-absorbed to say I've never had a belly, oh my god, I've never been big, whatever. It's not really about that. I'm just telling you what, for me, was my experience and why it bothered me. So I've never actually or really had a belly per se. I've always been on the smaller side. Like I said, I was mainly 100 pounds for the majority of my life, and then going to the gym is the only way I would have gained weight. And like I said, I was so small. Seeing yourself with a belly and it being that big, and I mean pregnancy is a very big belly, can be very shocking, and it also gives you a kind of out-of-body experience. And it's not to say that I did not understand that yes, I'm pregnant, obviously my belly's going to get big, obviously my body's going to change. It's just that I was not ready for my body to change that much. I always made jokes with my friends about it that for me, because I was smaller framed and then I had this big belly, I would look like a woman from Men in Black. And that's why you wouldn't see me post many pictures during my pregnancy, because that's genuinely how I felt. And it kind of took a hit on my self-esteem with me having to come to terms with my body may never go back to what it was before. I may never get back my flat tummy. I may have stretch marks. I may have a scar. I may have a lot of different things that I definitely did not have before and did not have to even think about or deal with before. And now your body is no longer what it was. And are you able to come to terms with that new body, the reason you have that new body, and now being able to love yourself despite you not being happy with what you see or what you saw in the mirror. And I know, like, for one, my mom would always tell me, oh, it's a beautiful thing you're doing, you're giving life. So having a mommy bod is like a badge of honor kind of thing. But, I mean, this may sound really shallow, but I just wasn't ready to have my body change that dramatically, and the risk of it not going back to what it was before. And that kind of like messed with my self-esteem and made me emotional. I would avoid looking at myself in the mirror a lot during my 5th trimester. I just completely avoid it. Like, there were like days on end where I didn't even remember what I looked like I hadn't looked in the mirror at all. Or I would look in the mirror here because I didn't enjoy seeing myself that way. I didn't like the way my body was shaped, how the way my belly looked. And I would like women who feel that way to not be down on themselves and don't think that you are alone and don't think you are any less of a person for feeling sad that the body of you pre-pregnancy may now be gone. And it's something that I'm still working on, and I still have to like work through, because even now I avoid looking at my body right now in the mirror. And I mean, I have only given birth a month now, so I really shouldn't be that hard on myself. But I mean, it's my self-esteem, it's me being accustomed to looking at myself and having my body react and look a certain way, and now it's a completely different body, and it's not a body that I'm accustomed to living in. So I just want to say, don't beat yourself up, and it is a beautiful thing. You've given life. Many women wish I would give an arm and a leg to do it. Men can't ever experience that, or can't ever have the experience of giving birth and having a connection with somebody that lived inside of you. So it is a good thing, it is a magical thing, it is a wonderful thing. But it is also okay to feel sad about the changes that your body is and will go through during pregnancy. And then the after effects of it, how you look after, is like, whoa, like your body is just like not your own, you're completely different, and it's something I'm still coming to terms with. Like I said, I have to like work through that with myself, and I'm not there yet, but it's something that I know in my head that I can't look at it as, oh my god, you look horrible, or you have a horrible body, because then what type of example would I be leaving for my child? Yeah, so it's just something I wanted to put out there. So that brings us to the end of my 3rd trimester video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, share, like the video, message me privately. I really enjoy speaking to you guys. I know I said that in the last video, but it is true. I do enjoy like the conversations I have with many different women about the many different experiences that they have during pregnancy or have had when they were pregnant. So yeah, until next time guys, bye.